Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Luann and I've got my sister Renee here with me today. So we grew up Amish and I was 15 when we left the Amish. How old were you?
I was 5.
She was 5. So I feel like there's a bunch of things that happen in the Amish life that I just grew up knowing that Renee never got to experience. So today I'm going to teach her some things. So, when we left the Amish, you may not know this because you were too young. So, well, there's 8 kids in my family. So my parents actually decided to leave. All my siblings left. My hand is in your face. So I think that one thing you may not even know is how the clothes that we wore when we were Amish was very much a part of my identity. So when we left the Amish, well, leaving the Amish is a huge deal. So in the Amish, we have our entire life planned out for us. We grow up with family, we go to church with our families, our friends. We have, friends, family, the clothes that we wear, the beliefs, all those things. When you leave the Amish, you lose all those things. So leaving the Amish is really hard. And about a year after we left the Amish, I was having a really hard time in life, just, leaving everybody and having lost everything. And about a year after we left the Amish, one day I went upstairs and I remember I was just crying. And I didn't know why. I didn't even know why I was so sad. And I put my Amish clothes back on and I looked in the mirror and I just breathed such a big sigh of relief. I was like, I'm still Luann. Just seeing myself in those Amish clothes.
Oh,
yeah. So I think you guys might find it surprising that I felt very beautiful in Amish clothes. And I still do. I still find them very pretty. So I'm excited to teach you what's so beautiful about Amish clothes.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough sell.
Okay. So we don't have everything it takes to put our hair up like we did when we were Amish. But with bobby pins and some hair ties, I can improvise.
We used to have those big hairpin things. Do people use those outside of Amish?
I don't know. I've never seen them outside of the Amish.
Maybe to buy.
Okay, so the one thing that all Amish know is that you have to have a part right down the middle of your hair. So, and it was a big deal when we were Amish to have puffed hair. So to have the hair that's sticking out in front just puffed up a little bit, yeah, but it's not allowed. We weren't allowed to do that, but.
How could did anyone get in trouble?
Yeah.
Who noticed?
Everybody noticed. These little details are a big deal. Basically, we need that part down the middle. Here, now turn around so the camera can see this. Okay. This might look like I don't know what I'm doing, but it's just because I'm trying to let the camera see what I'm doing. That's a little messier than I'm. Now you have to get the hair tie up it far enough that the cap, can sit, because the cap will land about right here. So it has to be up high enough that that's fine. And then of course, our hair was much longer than hers is. Because we didn't believe in cutting our hair. So when this piece right here was always a lot longer and we had to roll it a lot more. This is pretty easy. This right here. All right, hook me up with a few bobby pins. And actually put your hand up here and hold this bun.
Or is it okay if I use this hand?
All right. So the barrette, we would use a barrette for what I'm doing right here and it would just clip our hair. But for right here, we're just I've just put some bobby pins on. Okay, hook me up with a couple more bobby pins. And we also would have a hairnet over this. Alrighty, hon, I think you have an Amish hairdo. Ah!
Okay, can I face forward again?
Yes. Well, now let's go iron these. So bring the camera. Now, every Saturday we did our ironing, and I've got 2 bonnets here that we are going to iron, and we made our own bonnets. But okay, So I have a black bonnet and I have a white bonnet. These are more fancy. So when we went to visit other churches, like when we were guests in other people's church, like not our home church, we got to wear these. We got to wear these to the singing. When you're in Rumspringen, when you go to the parties, you get to wear a white bonnet. And if you're really fancy people and your mom lets you wear white bonnets to school, you're a very lucky person. I always had to wear black bonnets to school. Mom was not fancy.
Wait, she didn't let you wear white?
To school? No.
Why?
Mom, why did you not let us wear white bonnets to school? I don't know.
Are they harder to make than these?
No, it's just a sign of plainness. Like humility. These are just too fancy. So, but I'm gonna teach you how we use the toilet paper roll to iron our caps. Maybe you'd be able to see this better with the white. So you see this circle back here, not easy to make. Not easy at all. You want as dramatic a line as possible. Like obviously, you don't look like a neat, tidy person if your bonnets are a mess and this isn't really tidy. So how do you get that really neat, tidy circle? In comes the toilet paper roll. So I don't have the irons that we had when we were growing up. Do you remember that?
I know it's the big black ones and you had to heat them on the stove.
Cast iron, yeah, and we would heat them on the stove.
We had a little baby one and then a big one.
Yeah, we had a baby one also for the back side of the bonnets was what the baby one was for. So we would take this toilet paper roll. Amy would kill me if I ruined this, or will kill me if I ruin these bonnets. These are the only Amish clothes we have left from when we were Amish. So,
fingers crossed. You know what you're doing. Are these Amy's?
Well, they're ours, but Amy's saving them. She just let me take them. Okay, so we also would use handkerchiefs to do this. If you don't want the iron directly on the bonnet when you're ironing it, so throw a damp handkerchief over this. I just cut up a pillowcase. And then you just iron, turn it.
You iron it on the crease?
Yeah, because I mean the creases have to be ironed down. I'm not gonna iron this one. This one looks neat and tidy enough, but that black one needs a little ironing.
Needs a little love.
Yeah, it looks a little rough.
No, licking your finger and touching the iron. Is that a common thing? Do I just not iron enough?
We have to know. So I mean, cast iron. Irons don't have a temperature thing on them. Like you can't. They don't have settings. So you have to know the right kind of sizzle. Can't be too hot. You just have to recognize the sizzle that you want.
But Amy was great at this.
Actually, I was the best at ironing caps.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Who knew? She was best at everything else, though.
Well, it just seems like something she'd be very into.
She liked making the clothes, but I liked ironing. See how much better that looks already? Now, if I had that tiny little iron, I would set this down and iron it in the center on there, but I don't. So what bonnet did you want to wear? Did you want to wear the black or white one?
I want to be fancy.
Okay, darling.
What hat are you going to put? I feel like this is just going to give me flashbacks. I don't know if I'm ready.
Oh, Lord. How cute are you? Okay, let's come up here to the camera. To me, you look so beautiful.
What?
You look so cute. No? Okay, turn your, here. I'm gonna explain to Renee what makes this so beautiful. Visually, this is just stunning to me. Turn to the side for a second. Okay, so right here, her jawline, like the way the bonnet curves right around her ear, you see that beautiful curve? Not all bonnets have that. You have to be good at making them. Caps, we call them caps. Or they just hang straight right here, and then you don't get that beautiful jawline that comes all the way here. And then look how long her neck looks. And if you hold, see, oh, it's so pretty. And then turn around. Also, this is very pretty. So some people's hair don't grow low enough that they have hair sticking out right here, but it's pretty if you do. And then also I have the problem where my hair, I have too much hair, it goes forward, so it's not quite as pretty as this, but that's also considered pretty. So when we had, our church services were 3 hours long, and I mean, you get plenty of time to study the bonnets in front of you, the ladies in front of you, and so you get to study all this on everybody. But yeah, give us it. So, sold?
I like the jawline.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I didn't know that hair sticking out underneath was considered pretty. Do you have to, the bows on the back, does every bonnet have to have that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another fun little fact, this is how the plain women tied their, can you see this? So stand up closer to the camera. So if you want to be really fancy, then you don't make a bow, let's see, how did we do this? Okay, so we also, the style at the time was to have really long cap strings, and we would tie them really low. And we wouldn't use a bow, we used a knot, just like this. And it had to be perfect. Now that is fancy.
So this is like your little jewelry.
Yeah,
like a necklace.
See, if I got to go to school looking like that, I used to sit and hold my head just at the right angle, because if you make your neck long, tilted forward, just that angle is so stunning. So I always made sure I sat with the stunning angle. Okay, let's get to the dress, shall we? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. So a couple things that I'm gonna turn, this dress turned right side out. Okay, so a couple rules that we had to go by when we were making these dresses is, you see how it's got a skirt on it that is attached to the upper part, because we had to have a lot of fabric at the bottom. You see how wide this is? So what it's got is, it's pulled right here, it's gathered. So we had to have that, that was a rule. And then we had to have a belt that landed right here. Every dress has a belt. And then you have the upper part of the dress, and you've got the sleeves. And we had to have long sleeve dresses. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about how to iron this thing as I iron it for Renee, because she's gonna try it on. Now this fabric was so, oh my goodness, Renee, I love this fabric. See how on this side, it's got a really rough texture, but boom, turn it to the other side and it's got this shiny.
Did you wear it with the, like you weren't allowed to wear the shiny side out ever?
No, but the way this felt against my skin, and it just, this iron's really nice, this dress does. So yeah.
Did Amy make this?
Yes, Amy made this. Before we left the Amish, a little while before we left the Amish, we knew we were gonna leave the Amish. Mom and Dad became a little more lenient with how they let us sew our dresses. So before we left the Amish, I had made myself a dark green dress with this fabric, and I made the dress really, really long. If you cut the pattern where it was like a cone shape and the narrow side was at the bottom, it made your hip and it just gave you more curves. And so making it long, you had this curvaceous figure that went down to, you know, a narrow little bottom. Oh, it was stunning. I remember walking into church, I just felt so pretty. So pretty. I wish I would have kept that dress.
Did the other women gawk at you?
Yeah, the preacher came and talked to Dad that we weren't supposed to be wearing those fancy dresses. They were too long.
What did Dad say?
know. Should ask him about it.
Yeah.
Ask Amy about that story. She might know more.
Dad probably didn't even know it was different. I should have talked to Mom about it.
I would imagine we had 3 everyday dresses, 3 church dresses, and then a black dress. We wore black dresses for, you know, mourning. Like if anyone died, we would wear black for a long time, and to go to funerals and stuff. So I think we probably had 7 dresses total most of the time. But alrighty, Renee. Are you ready?
Yeah.
For the dress. Oh wow. Okay, put your arm up in this air.
Like you don't care.
So we don't have the right kind of pins. These are too fancy.
Why?
Okay, well, we can't pin that shut.
Do you just... Is that just to get it on? To help get it on?
Mm-hmm, yeah. So, but we'll pin right here.
So when did you wear your
All right, sit down.
strings behind you?
Oh, if you were really fancy, you wore your strings behind you. When you were in Rumspringa. Your hair is struggly.
Just not used to being this constrained.
Get it together. Mom used to lick her fingers and do that to get the hair where she wanted them. There you go. Oops, here, let's angle it down so we can see you sitting like a pretty little church lady.
Ooh!
Here you go, I'll grab another chair and give you some more, another lesson.
On how to sit properly?
Yeah.
Can you
know how to sit properly?
No.
All right, so the church services lasted for 3 hours and you were supposed to sit really, really still. So we would sit there and I also have a problem sitting still. And the girls, so in the Amish church, we always sat by age, like you file into the church by age. And if you have visitors come to the church, you ask them what their age is and when they were born, and they also sit by age. Everybody does. So in our home church, I always sat beside the same people, and both girls on both sides of me sat so still all the time. They never moved, and then there was me just wiggling, but they would always sit so prim and proper, like cross your legs, sit straight up, and sit there for 3 hours. Well, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to have you here this weekend and happy to share about the Amish with you.
Did you ever get a little show the knee?
No.
No. That would have been so scandalous.
Yeah,
like, just horrifying.
so scandalous. Yeah, they would have talked about me for generations, I'm sure.
Generations.
No, I'm just kidding. Please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for being here.